from the University of Leeds, and this instrument above us here is the Phase Sensitive Radar, or PRES instrument, on the YCR Traverse. So we've just dug a ginormous pit in order to calibrate the PRES instrument. We calibrate the PRES by digging a large pit and inserting a metal plate at a number of depths down the pit. That's useful because the metal plate acts as a strong reflector for the phase sensitive radar, and we see a peak in the amplitude of the return signal. This means that we know the depth at which we've inserted the plate for each profile that we take, which means we know the depth down the profile that the phase sensitive radar is seeing. The radar doesn't only operate when it's stationary, we operate it in a kinematic or moving mode as we travel between sites on the YCR Traverse, but we only calibrate at each static site that we do other measurements at, because we have to dig a large pit. So once we've dug such a large pit, we don't just take measurements using the metal plate in order to calibrate the radar, we take other measurements as well. This includes a temperature profile down the snow pit using the thermometer. We use just a tape measure and to visually identify the different stratigraphic layers down the pit by measuring them. And then we use a metal cylinder which is inserted into the pit to hammer out a small 30cm core, and we weigh this using a normal scales and a plastic bag in order to work out the density of the snow throughout the snow pit. We also make note of the snow grain size and structure. So today we dug such a large pit because most of the other sites that we passed through, this is site number 14, we've seen an icy layer at about 70cm depth at all other sites. We wondered whether this was the melt layer from the previous summer. So in order to verify whether that was correct or not, we thought, well, if we dig a pit that's about 3 metres deep, as this pit is, we should be able to see a second icy layer from the summer 2 years before now. Unfortunately, in this particular pit, we don't have an icy layer at 70cm, and we don't have an icy layer anywhere deeper as well. So it seems to be an anomaly out of all of the sites that we've visited so far, unfortunately. We might have to dig another big pit somewhere else. The other instrument that you can see on the far side of the boom is a sonic depth sounder. This uses sound to range the distance between the base of the sensor and the snow surface. And we use this when I'm travelling in kinematic mode, so when we're driving between YCR sites. And this tells us how high that sensor is above the snow surface, which in turn gives us information about the snow roughness as we drive from site to site. This is important because as these antennas are capable of measuring very small changes in the snow layering structure, large height differences are likely to reduce the quality of the dataset, and so it's a useful auxiliary dataset that we have. The other things of interest are the box, the large metal Zargus box which is mounted on the caboose is thermally insulated. So the network analyzer, which is the main brain of the instrument that we're using, can only operate at normal room temperature or 25 degrees C. So in order for me to operate this kit, it's important that I first heat up that box to about 20 degrees C in order to get a stable measurement as we drive along. Finito.